So as most of you would know, TennoCon was today, and with it came a whole bunch of reviews, most of them about Venus, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of videos from other partners where they discuss all the lore and implications and such. But I'm more of a simple guy and I thought I would just go over the assets provided to us by Digital Extremes. I've just copied them all into my Discord server here to show everyone. And if anyone actually wants the full resolution render, you can just come here and download it. The link will be in the description, as it always is. But I'm just going to go through them all and show them all off in high def. So yeah, first up, pet mowers. So I think they showed this was all modular. It looked like there was 3 or 4 different helmets, 3 or 4 different chassis, and 3 or 4 different legs there. So you got a little top hat and a bow tie there. That was quite cute. That is definitely the one I'm going to be building. Hopefully they're vacuum. They didn't mention that, but otherwise, they'll just be going back in stasis. But they look really cool. It's really awesome that they're modular. I didn't even think of that when that was first announced. Following that, we have the hoverboard. We got the Mag Penumbra skin showing it off. I think it's called a Bondi K-Drive. This is called. It's basically the Arcwing equivalent of the Plains of Eidolon. Use that to get around. It actually looks really awesome. There's a GIF further down that sort of shows how it moves, so we'll have a look at that. We got Nefanye, who is the big antagonist of the whole area. He's the one that is sort of enslaving the entire race, and he's obviously very full of himself. You got the corpus sort of praising him. But very cool character. It's nice that we're getting a bit more of a expansion on his character, because he's sort of always just been existing in the background. We don't really know much about him yet, so that'll be cool. After that, we have the actual hub of Venus, where the Solaris United. That's these kind of resistance that lives on this planet fighting against Nefanye. And you can go here to get all your modular Zors and such that we'll talk about in a moment. This looks really awesome, by the way, and the music they had going here, incredible. The vendor, I don't think they spoke to him in any of his videos in the stream, sorry. But looking at this, it's all the regular stuff that you'd find not in the planes and not specific to Venus. This is the stuff you'll find everywhere, so gallium and plastids and argon. So a big problem with the planes release was that it wasn't actually tied to the game very well. So hopefully there's some kind of transfer rate. You can go fishing or mining and trade it for this stuff, make it more accessible for new players or just for veterans to sort of burn off a whole bunch of resources for some extra stuff. That'd be cool to see, but that's just speculation. Now we got the space battles, which is the Railjack system, and these spaceships are fully customizable, and they did a whole mission. There was 3 of them on ship, and it looked like it was sort of Star Trek-esque, where you could go back and divert power to your thrusters or your shields or your weapons and such. And enemies will be boarding your ship and you have to fight them off and extinguish the fires they create. It actually looked really interesting, and I was around way back when Steve started doing his Sunday stream where he first teased this system, first started working on it. It's crazy to see it actually implemented now. It looks really awesome. Hopefully it'll be a bit more responsive. It was very slow when they're actually up in space in terms of flight, but we'll see. It'd be nice if it was a little bit quicker, But you can also deploy into Arcwing and get out into space, so that was quite awesome, I thought. Hopefully that'll come with some more Arcwing updates, maybe some new gear and stuff, but more importantly the controls. I don't think they ever really nailed that, so hopefully that'll incur a bit of a look back. We also have the Corpus Spider here, and they mentioned that it protects the Corpus outposts. So you imagine there's 3 or 4 outposts, and at each one there's one of these guys running around protecting it. They sort of mentioned that, they didn't really talk about it much. They didn't show any combat with it, but you can see it's absolutely massive. Very cool little thing, very cool big thing. Not sure why I said that. We have the helmet. So this is the helmet charger, which just has the basic charger model in the game currently, but they're adding this with, I think, the Nidus Deluxe, because they're sort of linked together. This is the unarmored version, and then there is the one that is armored, so you can see all the plates and spikes grow out of it. I'm a bit conflicted with this, but if we look at the Nidus here as well, it's the same thing, is all compact like it would be, and then obviously as you build up the stacks the armor comes out. But it's odd because with the original Nidus you could see where all the extra pieces were coming out, but here it looks like it's just getting added on. I can't imagine all these rigid, sharp objects being inside of his body and then extending out. It looks like they're just sort of getting tacked on, so I'm curious if there's going to be some animation for them folding out like there is currently or not. I don't know. But it was interesting that in the dev stream I didn't even notice these were arms, and it wasn't until I looked at these images that he's just got arms crossed across his chest. I think that's a really weird but cool touch. Quite interesting. And we just have the two paired together. You can see the theme matches. Kind of looks like a bit of a Big Daddy thing going on at the top there. We got Neza Deluxe. Not really sure what to say about this one. I'm sure it'll appeal to some people. It doesn't appeal to me. I'm not really into this Chinese, Japanese, dragon aesthetic. But yeah, there's a lot of work that's gone into it. It's very intricate, so maybe with a bit of colour change it'll be a bit more my pace. Here's the hoverboard GIF I was talking about, if Discord ever loads. Come on mate, you're ruining me. Alright, I'll just give that a sec. Oh, there we go. So you've got a bit of vertical movement you can do. And you can see if you're watching the frame in front, the animations are like really well done for going around the corners. See all the dust kicking up, you see the frames leaning to the left and right as they sort of use their weight to control it, as you would expect on a skateboard or hoverboard. It's pretty quick. I feel like it needs to be quicker if Venus is as big as they say it is, because this is nowhere near as fast as an Arcwing, and I don't know if Arcwings can be used here. I think they actually can, because I remember someone told me that these will be usable in the planes of Eidolon, and a lot of the stuff they've implemented into the Venus planes here will actually be retroactively added to planes of Eidolon, such as being able to take bounties from like outside, so you don't have to go back into the loading screen each time. So it'll be interesting to have both of those and to see if either will get used more. I think this will be more fun, but I think the Arcwing will be quicker, particularly because there seems to be oceans of coolant everywhere. I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how that's implemented. We got the new Lisette skin, which is only available through Twitch Prime, and a colour palette. I'm not actually sure if, I assume if it's in the image it comes with it. I only saw this skin, but I think that looks radical. I'll probably try and get that. Moving on, Limbo Deluxe, another weird one. Not really sure what theme they're going for, but I reckon it could look pretty cool with some extra attachments on there. See how that one goes. We got the Titania Deluxe, which I think looks better than her regular skin. Not really a big fan of the big rear end she's got in the regular one, like the big, I guess the tail of her Arcwing that's there. So it's got a bit here, but it looks like it's sort of opened, tailed, I guess. Nyx Deluxe, actually I think this looks really cool. It's really obscure, but really cool. And you can see with the helmet that it's still got that Nyx aesthetic. Yeah, just a really interesting take on her, which I think will be really nice. We've got the Vauban Deluxe, that's just the front. This one's been shown for quite a while. I didn't notice it until now, but his posture reminds me of Shrek when he's got his helmet on. I think in the first one, when he's saving the princess. Anyway, moving away from that. Also got the back, which I think looks awesome, very cool. And a lot of this stuff, it's similar to, actually I don't know if the frame skin does it, or if it's just the weapon. But I know for a fact that the weapon has like a lot of springs and stuff that sort of expand out. I remember seeing an animation for that a long time ago. There's an image further down that shows it a little bit, but I don't remember if the frame does it. But I'm not really a fan of any of the Vauban skins, so this will be a nice addition. I'll give it a shot. We've got Garuda, which is the next frame after the Revenant, which I have an image for further down. And this is, they compared it to Valkyr, in that Valkyr is like the personification of rage, and this is the personification of indifference. But her theme is gore, apparently, so blood and guts. It's going to be quite interesting, slaughtering everyone quite viciously and not really giving a damn. I imagine sort of meat shields and body shields and God knows what else. Those claws, I don't know, that'll be very interesting. So I think these things were shown on the panels that I didn't get to watch because I wasn't at TennoCon and they haven't been uploaded yet. But Corpus shotguns, Corpus revolvers, I assume these are weapons and not just skins, but they may be. But I don't think they are. It'd be really cool to have a few more shotguns. They've been, the Corinth, particularly with the sound effects, and I've been using the Arc of Plasma a lot. Quite fond of the shotguns lately. Corpus glaive, not sure where it comes from. but there it is. I'm not really a fan of the glaives, and I don't like that the glaive and pistol, or the glaive and sidearm system is forced. Like, you have to have both at once if you want your pistol out. It's kind of annoying. So, can't say I'm very hyped for that one, but it's there. Grenier gun stock. I have no idea what this is. I think I saw an animation for it once. Gunstock club. Looks like just a melee weapon, but I thought it was more than that. I'm not really sure. So I'll have to see where that goes. A lot of these bundles I haven't really seen before. We've got the infested bundle. Heavy sword, I assume that's just skins and Sagatras, which is fine. Tenno dual axe. Looks pretty cool. It's not really my aesthetic, but I can definitely see why some people would like it. Got the Neza Deluxe bundle, so I imagine you get the skin, and these come with it. It's quite a weird Sindana, but it's definitely fitting for the theme. Same thing for the swords. I quite like the swords actually. Bit of a sort of make everything a bit duller. Everything's so vibrant. I like a more realistic aesthetic. But I think in terms of the skin themselves, it's done really well. The modelling is quite nice. Moving on, we've got the Warband Deluxe weapon. You can kind of see everything expanding out. Not so much here, I think that's a bit compacted, but you can see it sort of expanding. I don't really remember if there was a mechanic tied to that. I thought there was, but I don't remember. That looks pretty sick, I reckon. Sagatras fit in the theme. And we've got the Revenant Warframe. So this was originally Vlad, and it's codename Revenant now. But there's a few images of things that are supposed to be coming with it, and this is the two-handed katana that has been teased for quite a while. We saw a stance for this like almost a year ago, I think. So it'd be really nice to have that in the game. I think that looks awesome, and I can imagine... I can't really remember the stance, but I remember thinking it was damn cool. So yeah, looking forward to that one. Also comes with an armor set. These shoulder pads kind of remind me of the Riv set. Elite Riv, I think. You can also get some from Conclave. And the similar things down the bottom there. Not sure about the chest piece. It's like a nose piercing, I guess, on your chest. I don't know, a bit odd. But it's quite bulky, quite nice energy colors in there, energy effects. I'm quite a fan of these like bulky shoulders, and I think we need better leg plates as is. So I think this will be a promising one when it finally comes out. Similar thing for the Kavats. I think there's one for the Kubrals as well. Honestly, I never use organic pets because they don't have vacuum, and these kind of weird horns that they seem to love putting on, like on Umbra's knees and such, I think look ridiculous. But it's there if you're interested. Revenant coming with a shotgun, presumably Tenno shotgun, signature weapon, don't know what it shoots, but reminds me of the Arcoplasma quite a bit. Some kind of wide, heavy plasma beam, perhaps. And we got the Gram Prime, which I think the Gram is a bit of a joke, but the Gram Prime, bring it back into the light a little bit. It looks beautiful. I think it'll be a nice addition. Quite cool. These have been out for a while, but I haven't actually seen any proper images of them. So I added them in there as well. And this Sindana, I know there's a bit of controversy about it for a while. It's called Sindana Prime, which is not very helpful. But I think a lot of this stuff has been extended and changed, and I haven't seen this in game in this iteration at least, so I'm not really sure how this is being added, or if it's already been added. I'm not really sure. Umbra armor, everyone's seen that. Sort of the knee pads I was talking about, a bit weird. I think the top half is quite good. I don't think I have it on any frames yet, but I don't dislike it. I'm just waiting for the appropriate placement. Umbra Dax skins. I don't know if this is in the game already. I think there's something very similar, but maybe not identical. I don't remember this being on here, but I'm not sure. I think it looks pretty good, but the problem with these sheaths for me is that it just makes the blade look bloated. Like a katana is supposed to be very slim, very agile, very quick, and like the blade still is, but the sheath just sort of takes away from that a little bit, I think. Not really my thing. Dax Sindana, already in the game, looks alright. Same with the Umbra Katana, signature weapon. Umbra Kavat armor, blinding the pets for some weird reason. Same thing on the Kubrau here. Not really my thing. I like that they both have a scarf though, very cute. Moving on, we have the Venus modular weapons, so secondary and primary. They showed a few that were built. I think I have a few. Yep, I do have a few. So some secondary options, so you can see there's quite a bit of variety in here. Although you can see pieces being reused here and here, you know, the plate there and there. So I think there was like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 different pieces in each category, which is the barrels, clips and handles. Not really sure what the clip attachments do. I guess just changing the stats more, but same with the Zors in Cetus, every piece that you decide to use will affect the stats themselves. Quite cool, been looking forward to this for a while. Remember there was some Arcane's data mined. I don't know if they've added more, they didn't tease any more with this. But it'll be cool to see where that goes. We've got another Sentinel, Solar's United Sentinel. Looks weird. I don't know if these are all attachments. I guess this is its base form and then these are attachments that you can put on, so the wings. But then maybe not, because these are what are usually sitting on the regular Sentinels that we already have that you can attach wings and a face mask to and such. So I don't know if this will extend out of these or... I don't know, but another Sentinel is always welcome. I don't think it's just a skin. I imagine they've just added something else. They've added a whole new world, I don't know why that would just be a skin. We have the Venus Spaceman weapons, Corpus Spaceman, so I assume this is weapons that the enemies themselves will be using. They were shooting a few, you know, up in space, but I couldn't really tell what they were using when they were flying around. But I'd love to have these, particularly this melee weapon I think looks amazing. There's some kind of like plasma rifle there as well. Or a submachine gun, I don't know, very cool. I don't know if we'll get to use those ourselves, but you know, you can always hope. Then we've got the Tools of Harvest, so the fishing spears for the robotic fish that are in the coolant. A bit weird, but yep. And then mining tools, we all saw those mining veins that were in the back of the trailers there. So it looks to be identical as the plains of Eidolon, and the fish are the same. Oh, the system is the same, I imagine. But then we have the tranquilizer guns, which are for the hunting system. I don't know if I have another image for this stuff, but you have to like find tracks and you have to follow the tracks, and there's like a... not really sure what you'd call it. They didn't really show it off well enough, like you couldn't tell what whoever was playing was actually doing, but you have to mimic the call of an animal to sort of attract them over, tranquilize them, and then you attach a beacon to them, and then the Solaris guys send out a drone that just sucks them up into space. I assume it goes to the outpost, but it's just very Metal Gear-esque in like the new games. It was very, very weird. Sort of attach a balloon to a horse and send it home. Quite interesting. So that's the actual Revenant frame, Vlad, as he used to be called. Last time we saw him he didn't have any energy effects going on, but there's that two-handed katana again. I think he's kind of vampire-based, priest-based. I think it's mostly vampire. And he's got a lot of... like I remember his 4th ability is the sleep, and I think his 1 and 2, like zombie-related, you can sort of spread your virus out like a vampire would. I don't really remember much about him, but he looks pretty cool. I'm interested to play him. And then finally we have the next Prime Unvaulting, well, it's not a leak, Summer Vault Dual Pack, Nyx Prime and Rhino Prime. So we just know that in the next one these two are coming back, which is good because they're both damned expensive for anyone that's trying to pick them up. So yeah, pretty awesome. I wouldn't say I'm hyped, I don't really get hyped, but yeah, they did a really good job with the presentation of TennoCon, and there's a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to, and I hope it's all implemented as well as it should be, as it deserves to be. But yeah, from everything I've seen, my hopes are pretty high. I'm sure it'll be a bit of a buggy mess to begin with, but once they sort things out like they did with the planes, it's going to be an awesome addition, I think. Of everything, apart from the what was it called? The K drive. I think this is the thing I'm most interested in. I'm a big fan of movement. I think that'll be a really cool way to get around and master. And then I think the Nidus skin as well. It looks really odd, but I'm not a fan of the infested look. So it'd be really cool to have like a robotic, mechanical version of that. I've been playing a lot of Nidus lately. So yeah, if anyone wants to copy any of these assets, the link to my Discord is in the description of the video. You just come down and click on the assets thing here. This is all taken exactly from the drive that the Digital Extreme provided to us. And it's all in as high as quality as it can be. It's also worth noting that I'll have 2 videos going live at about the same time as this one that are just clips from the sound panel. So there's like a field recording where they're out smashing snow and ice and such to give some really awesome sounds. They're running around out there with their high-tech microphones. And another one where where they're creating the Ballast and Sacrifice theme music. It's quite interesting little things. I haven't touched them at all, but that will be going up at the same time as this. And I'll probably post them in here as well. Yeah, very cool.